is Monday, and you all know what time it is. It is time to recap college football conference weekend championship games. We'll talk about that. We're talking the NFL. We're talking the Eagles. Of course, we're talking Jalen Hurts. It's back. The criticism, all this good stuff. Emmanuel Acho didn't have one single award in the NFL, but he thinks he's an analyst. He's real cute at it too, by the way. We're talking about that. We're talking Dan Campbell and the Lions. And it is all on the other side because episode number 21 of 609 Sports Talk begins now. And welcome in, everybody, back to another edition of 609 Sports Talk, live here on Facebook and on YouTube. We are coming to you guys live from Hamilton, New Jersey. Of course, you know this is the show that unites fans and ignites debate. And as always, we are your host, Sam Nelson. He is Tyler Adams. Mr. Adams, how are we on this rainy, damp, dreary day?
Correction. It's a rainy, damp Victory Monday.
It is a rainy, damp Victory Monday. You know, it's an exciting week, you know. Major League Baseball winter meetings are clearly in full swing, literally. The college football, the playoff bracket is set now. We'll get into that later. NFL season, I mean, we're down to what? The final few weeks? Kind of like, what, a month left?
Pretty much.
Come and gone so fast, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Always does.
It's a sad day because I don't like when football ends because then I gotta like do draft work and like that's just not fun. Like it's fun. The NFL draft show is fun, but leading up to that, it's a lot of work.
Yep.
But look, we have a jam-packed show for everybody. We're going to be talking college football playoff a little bit later on in the show. We'll recap conference championship weekend, and it was a heck of a weekend. We're going to talk some Eagles here in a little bit, and of course our NFL recap. We're going to get to our first topic right here in a second, but real quickly, before we do that, just want to let everybody know the real quick announcement. The first ever edition of Hitting Home, which of course will be a full-time 609 Sports Talk presents. It's a baseball show. Hitting Home will be airing its first episode this Thursday at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Me and our good friend over the Dueling Aces, Mr. George, will be live at 1 p.m. Eastern Time to recap the MLB winter meetings. And oh, has they been wild already. Juan Soto is a Met. There are plenty. Willie Adames is a Giant. There is a plethora of moves that have already been made and a bunch of moves that are yet to be made. So that will all be recapped this Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Come out and talk with us. We love talking baseball with our fans, so please come out and join us this Thursday at 1 p.m. It's going to be a doozy. But as for tonight, it is football, football, football. And the first line of defense tonight, literally defense, is the Detroit Lions. Yes, we are starting with the Detroit Lions. Of course, they're coming off a 34-30. Brian, I just made it the screen name. I did it last week with Justin Tucker. I need to know who broke these kickers. I need to know who broke all my kickers. Justin Tucker can't kick. Jake Elliott can't kick. I need to know who broke the kickers.
You know
who
what?
Who broke my kicker?
Maybe it's just a part of the NFL script for this year. You know, make it more exciting. On the edge of your seat. Miss more
the owners were like, yo, guys, these kickers are making way too much money. Can we put like a script in there that they got to miss a bunch of kicks this year so we can pay them like $4 million again? But top story of this show is Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions. Now, we all know Lions defeated the Packers last week on Thursday Night Football, 34-31. The big talk of that game was Dan Campbell going for it on fourth down at the Green Bay 21-yard line to get another first down to potentially ice the game with a field goal instead of giving the Packers a chance to get the ball back. Now, a certain, I guess you can call him sports radio or sports talk host, Rob Parker, who, by the way, cannot stick with a network that he likes for more than 5 years, decided to go on his show on Friday afternoon and called Dan Campbell a terrible head coach for his recklessness and erratic decision making, comparing him, and this is why I'm letting Mr. Adams start this segment, comparing him to former Chargers head coach Brandon Staley, saying that is how bad of a head coach he is. Mr. Adams, I am going to let you start off this segment. Is Dan Campbell being over-criticized?
Did I just hear that correctly? He compared him to Brandon Staley.
Yes, you did. So the floor is yours.
The same Brandon Staley who could never win enough games to go anywhere with his teams.
I mean, do we want to bring up the playoff game against Jacksonville a couple years ago?
My point exactly. Couldn't even handle business in that game. That right there is just disgusting enough. I'm not even going to go into that anymore. Dan Quinn. He is.
Dan Campbell?
Dan Campbell, yes.
Well, Brandon Staley broke your brain already.
Yeah, that threw me off. Dan Campbell. There's a age-old saying, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Now, we know this guy, all he does is he's aggressive. He's probably slightly crazy. But guess what? It makes him a great coach. And what he did in that game is something that he would have done in any game against any opponent. Now, would I say that it's a smart decision to go for it on fourth and whatever it was? I think it was like, what, 4th and 2? 4th and 3?
And it's 4th and inches.
Was it inches?
Yeah.
Was it really?
I watched it back.
I thought it was a little bit further than that. But anyways. Anywho. They're on their own 30-yard line. So, knowing the slim possibility of not converting that, which they obviously did not convert it, gives the Packers amazing field position. Now, there's two parts to this, right? One part is Dan Campbell trusts his team. He trusts all the guys, all the starters that go out there both sides of the football. He trusted in his offense, like he always does, to go get the conversion and put the game to rest. Now, it didn't quite go as they planned, and they ended up giving it up. And I think, off of that turnover, did they only give up, was it a touchdown or a field goal?
What was that?
The fourth down turnover where the Packers got the ball back.
Well, no, I forget when that one occurred. I don't know if the Packers.
Yeah, I think it was like maybe late third quarter. I don't remember exactly, but they got some sort of points off of it. I don't remember if it was a touchdown or a field goal. So it obviously didn't work in their favor.
Yeah.
But the trust that he puts in his team and the ballsy plays that he calls, that's who he is. You can't just sit here and criticize a guy when things don't work. But if they would have converted that, guess what? He's a genius. He's the cockiest head coach in the NFL. That would have been a different narrative. But what did we see later in the game? They had a chance to take the field goal and to give the Packers just a little bit of time to possibly make a miracle happen. What does he do? Goes for it on fourth down. Gets the conversion off of a almost botched handoff with Jared Goff losing his footing.
That's college. You know that rule. That's college. He's down.
Yeah, he is. So they got a little lucky with that. But once again, he put his trust in his guys, and even though it almost messed up, not to any fault of him, they still got it. They converted it, and that iced the clock down. We're able to make the field goal, win the game. Burnsy, I for one am not happy that the Packers lost, because if they were to beat the Lions, it would have helped the Eagles get a little bit closer to possibly getting the 1 seed.
I still don't care about the 1 seed. I don't know if people disagree or not, but I don't care about the 1 seed.
I'll be honest, I think it's probably better off for our football team, Philadelphia Eagles, if we don't have a first round bye. Now, yes, it would be nice to have home field advantage. Everything going through the link is always nice. But, this year on the road, this team has been pretty damn good.
Yeah. They only lost one game. They've only lost one game on the road.
Yeah, and that was when they went down to Tampa, right?
Yeah, that was a game in Tampa.
Yep.
Burnsy said he needs the Cowboys to lose tonight. Well, that could be it. This is a matchup of two teams that literally have had the most disappointing seasons in the NFL.
But there's one team that's still more talented.
And they could still lose because of that. What's up, Alex? What's up, Clint? Clint says that Dan Campbell is always a gambler. He's fourth. Yeah, and now, here's the thing, right? Because if Brian's still watching, I can hear him upset that I'm defending Dan Campbell, but I got mad at Nick Sirianni. There's a difference between aggressive and ignorance. When you've already missed multiple kicks and you're just struggling to get points on the board and the team is breathing down your neck like that Jags game, you just take the points. Now, I will say so. I do not fully agree that Dan Campbell should have went for it on 4th down with the 30-some-odd seconds left in Packers territory like that. That is a very gutsy call. But Dan Campbell has told you from the beginning that this team was going to be aggressive. They were going to put their foot on the back of your neck, and they were not going to let you up.
I know, Sam, there was a different phrase he used. This team will bite your kneecaps off. All right?
That's psychotic.
They'll bite your kneecaps off.
Exactly. He has not changed that philosophy, the way he's approached the game as a coach since. And why should he? Over the past 2 seasons now, the Lions are, from between all of last year and so far this year, the Lions are 24-6. When the hell was the last time the Detroit Lions were 24-6 in a 2-year stretch? I don't know if they've ever been that good.
Is never a safe answer. I think never's a good answer. I like Clint's comment. He's that guy that'll have 20 on blackjack and say, hit me.
Yeah. So, and first of all, for Rob Parker to be so ignorant and come out and say that he is as bad as a coach as Brandon Staley. And then, of course, he came out and said that Brandon Staley at least had the excuse of not having a defense. Excuse me? Rob, do you know what? We don't. Rob Parker just proved he never watched a down to football in his life. Yeah. That Chargers team.
Or at least the Chargers football.
That Chargers team a few years ago was loaded. Bosa, Samuel Jr., Derwin James. I believe Khalil Mack was there already, wasn't he?
I'm pretty sure he was, yeah.
That defense with the Chargers was loaded. And he had a 24-point lead against the Jacksonville Jaguars. This isn't the freaking Kansas City Chiefs. This is the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't care what Cinderella run they were on. And you blew a 24-point lead.
Yep. Atrocious.
And in Dan Campbell's eyes, when he made that play call, he was saying, I don't want the Packers. Dan Campbell realized his defense was not good on Thursday night. And this is why I still tell people I am not afraid about going to Detroit. The Lions' defense without Aiden Hutchinson is exposable.
Yeah. They've held up solidly, but they are by no means an elite defense.
Not without that guy on the line.
No.
So there's my point. And now look, I'm not trying to disrespect the Lions. The Lions are a great team. They're the best team in the NFC right now. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But if he saw that his defense had allowed 31 points, and he felt that if he kicks that field goal, because there was still like 50 seconds left in that game.
Yep.
He felt, because remember, after the fourth down play that Goff hands it to Montgomery, Goff has to snap it again and slide down and get into where the kicker wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
So if he kicks that field goal there with about 48 some odd seconds left, there's a good chance that Jordan Love and the Packers could still get into field goal range again.
Yep.
The game was a shootout. This was not a defensive battle on Thursday night.
It was not.
And it was, it's a very ballsy, gutsy decision. And if you don't get it, you're under scrutiny for the whole freaking world. But that's how much Dan Campbell has trust in his team, his quarterback, his run game, and his offensive line. He trusts them to say, if it's 4th and inches like this, I will let you go for it because I know you're going to pick it up. And what did he do? He put his power back in. He ran it to the right side of his offensive line, which some people could say it's the best side of their offensive line with Zeitler and Sewell. There's some studs over there. And they got it. Now, look, if he doesn't get it, we could be talking a whole different ballgame here. Absolutely. But to come out here and say this guy's a bad head coach, the guy's 24-6 over the past 2 regular seasons leading up to right now.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's put together one of the best rushing attacks in the NFL. And I don't care if he does. I think Dan Campbell's basically that same boat. I think he's more of what the Eagles want Nick Sirianni to be. He just gives his coordinators their playbooks and says, go at it. Because Ben Johnson calls their plays. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
And he lets Glenn call the defensive plays. Dan Campbell, but don't tell me that Dan Campbell is not one hell of a player's coach. Because all his players bust their behinds for him.
They do.
Just real quick, let's get to some more comments here. What's up, Carol? Happy Victory Monday again.
Going on.
Again. Clint, it was Rob Parker, the former ESPN analyst who is now at Fox Sports. He compared him to Brandon Staley. Brandon Staley, the former head coach and Tyler's favorite coach from the LA Chargers.
Terrible. So just something I want to point out real quick, too.
Go ahead.
With the Lions and Packers game, the Lions put together about 111 rushing yards, and that's including rushing yards from a 10-yard run from Amon-Ra St. Brown and 7 total yards from Jared Goff. They put up 111 on the ground with their 2 running backs, who were 2 great running backs, but they couldn't run the football against the Packers. Now let's go back to when the Eagles played the Packers down in Brazil. There's a certain someone named Saquon Barkley who had 109 rushing yards against that Packers defense. And not to mention, Jalen also scrambled for 33 as well. So I'd just like to reiterate that the Eagles have a better rushing attack than the Lions do. Lions got 2 great running backs. Doesn't mean they can always get it done.
I mean, Saquon's got more yards than both of them just in the second half of his games.
Exactly.
Now, I will say I do like the Lions' approach a little bit better because they have 2 guys they can kill you with. I don't care what.
That is
I don't
ideal.
care. I love Saquon to death, but I don't know what people see in him. I don't know who. If you're one of them, I can't stay. I just don't like Kenny Gainwell. I just do not like him.
No.
What's
You know,
up, Anthony?
I've seen a lot of like replays of highlights and people making like meme videos, and all the time it's Jalen Hurts when he's scrambling, he'll have Kenny Gainwell open for like, a little 5 yard catch. He just keeps himself and he literally points to for him to go block for. But if it's Saquon, throws it out to him.
I'm
If it's
not
Kenny
trusting Kenny
Gainwell,
Gainwell.
get out there and block. You're not getting the ball. Get out there and block for me.
Yeah, that's not happening.
I just think it's hilarious.
Anthony, shout out to the NCAA for not putting Alabama in the playoff. Thank
Yeah.
freaking God.
Wow.
And
I
Anthony,
I thought it was against the college football committee's religion to not have Alabama in the playoffs, but they actually did.
did you hear Herbstreit and Nick Saban how upset they were about it?
All right,
Oh,
go back and coach the team, Nick. Maybe they would have made it.
Anthony, by the way, congratulations on your Big Ten championship. Very well deserved. Hard fought game. Very good. Big Ten runs college football. Let me just tell you that right now.
Yeah.
And Clint said, I don't take nothing he says seriously. He's the same guy that called RG3 a cornball on national TV, and ESPN made him apologize. Clint, I don't even know why Rob Parker's still allowed to talk about anything. I'm still trying to figure it out. But like I said, if you want to say that Dan Campbell is a little overly aggressive, okay, maybe that's true. And then, of course, he was trying to say this is what cost the Lions the Super Bowl last year. No, their defense blew a halftime lead. That's what cost them the Super Bowl. I don't mind it when a head coach sticks to his guns and does what he's all about. Now, in a game-to-game situation, that it sometimes may have to change. Because once again, I'm waiting for Brian to get mad at me because I'm talking about Nick Sirianni again. With the way that game was going against the Jags, you just take the damn points at that point.
Yeah.
I don't want to almost damn near freaking lose a game because we're just costing our team points. And no, it wasn't anything to do with that. Oh, Jake Elliott was struggling. You were just passing up PATs at that point. And that to me wasn't okay.
And the reason he was doing it is because they kept getting these false starts. So he was getting half the distance to goal, and he was like, "Oh, push it in."
Now
I got scared yesterday because I saw the same thing, and I called it too. I was like, "Oh, it's a false start." Now, granted, Jake didn't make it because he's thrown off by it, but I knew they were going to go.
Are we sure that's why he missed it?
I'm going to say that's why he missed it because usually he's good with PATs at least this year. He's struggled with the longer field goals, but this year the PATs he's still drilling them through.
But I was okay with going for it in that situation. I was okay with that. They jumped. All right, let's go for two here. He had to try to they were stagnant all game. He had to try to get something going. But yeah, real quickly, just back to the Lions. I cannot believe that we are sitting here because somebody decided to compare Dan Campbell to easily what was one of the worst head coaching hires in the history of the NFL.
And you know what we got to do? Not acknowledge him.
All right, Roman Reigns.
Because that comment is strictly for clickbait purposes, and there is nothing that actually backs up that evidence. I don't even want to say it. Don't even want to say it. Because I don't want to acknowledge it. It's just a stupid comment. That's it.
The fact that you compare them, you compared him to a guy who's not even in the NFL anymore. And if he is, he's not a head coach.
Not even an offensive coordinator. Not even a defensive coordinator. I don't even know what his specialty is. What is his specialty?
He was the defensive coordinator for the Rams. And
oh, nice. So that's why he gave up that lead to the Jags. Good job.
Pretty much. All right. So moving on to segment number 2. I'm sure Carol's been waiting for this. I'm sure some others. Eagles. Because they're in the news again. Eagles narrowly got by the Carolina Panthers yesterday, 22-16. After the game, A.J. Brown came out and was asked, what does the team need to fix? And his definite answer was passing. And once again, the news media in Philadelphia is trying to paint A.J. Brown like the bad guy, as they always try to do. And of course, now not only A.J. Brown, but quarterback Jalen Hurts is under scrutiny as the passing offense has struggled over the past couple of weeks in their eyes. Mr. Adams, what can the Eagles do to get the pass game back on track?
So I want to say this to start, right?
A.J. Brown, things to say, so.
A.J. Brown's comment was taken completely out of context. There is no chance, no way that you could even try to twist that as him saying Jalen Hurts needs to pass the ball better. He said, they asked what's wrong with the offense. He said passing. Passing means the lack thereof. They aren't really passing the ball much. They're running it a lot. They're not drawing up these big passing plays. You know, I mean, earlier in the season, we did see some of it. We saw them deep balls that went down to Devontae or AJ. I don't know if we saw one deep ball in yesterday's game. You're just not really seeing that coming out of this offense. They're kind of taking a more slow, methodical pace. And while obviously they've been undefeated since the bye week, something's working. It's not like nothing's working. They have a plan. We're just not seeing these big, flashy plays that people became used to seeing and that people love to see. I get it. It's fun watching football when you see a 50-yard pass down the field. It is. But guess what? Sometimes you got to win football games getting dirty in the trenches, running the football. And that's exactly what they've been doing. And I just don't understand the people who want to go and scrutinize specifically Jalen Hurts because he's always the scapegoat for everything. Someone's turning the football over, it's Jalen Hurts' fault. Someone else fumbling the football, it's Jalen Hurts' fault. He's getting sacked, it's Jalen Hurts' fault. They're not passing the ball enough, it's Jalen Hurts' fault. Oh, I didn't know Jalen called all the plays. I didn't know he coordinated the game week to week. I didn't know he got to the choice to go out there and say, all right, guys, we're going to go 75% pass, 25% run this week. I didn't know he had that ability. Sorry. But if you want to break down his stats and look at it, 14 for 21. He missed 7 throws, 108 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, no turnovers. And he also had a rushing touchdown. And also, let me pull up his rushing stats as well. He had 8 carries for 59 yards, a 7.5-yard average.
Two of those scrambles were huge in that game.
They were. And guess what? For all the Kenny Pickett lovers, all the people who say that he's a system quarterback, tell me, Kenny Pickett can go out there and extend those plays.
Somebody watched my YouTube short last week.
I watch all the YouTube shorts.
I know you do. You're just echoing exactly what I said.
Yes, Carol, that is the perfect. Finally, we have an Eagles fan who is level-headed. We have a lot of Eagles fans around here. They're not all level-headed. Sometimes Sam isn't level-headed. Not as often as he's more level-headed than he's not. So I'll give him that credit. But finally, someone who's level-headed. You play the game that is before you. Sorry, Sam, are you upset?
I'm not over the level-headed comment. I'm always level-headed.
Sam, you were born on level-headed. No big head joke intended.
Just continue, and I'll give you my thoughts on you. Just keep going.
Back on track. Let's put some things into comparison here, right? Bryce Young, 19 completions, 34 attempts, 191 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. If you would have told me if Jalen Hurts threw the ball 13 more times, he already completed 14 for 21. He's probably completing well over 20 20 of those passes, probably closer to, 24, 25. And I'd probably have like well over 200 yards if he threw the ball more. So people act like we're looking at a quarterback who has 108 passing yards off of like 9 completions, 10 completions. Like they're acting like he's just throwing the ball at like a 40 to 50% completion percentage.
I agree with what Clint says here. Sometimes they go for the big play too much.
They do, and you know what? You know what dropped off? Beginning of the season, when everyone was ready to blow up the whole team, they were going with those deep balls. We saw a lot more deep passes. Week 1, we had the 68-yard bomb to AJ Brown. Guess what? It's cute when it works. When it doesn't, and when you end up going 3 and out because you go for the big play and you can't make the yards up to get the first down on third, guess what? It doesn't look too good. When you're putting your defense on the field way too much, it doesn't look good. You don't win games like that. They've been playing football that has managed the game to how they want it to be, and they have the best running back in football. And the offense, it's just working.
Clint, I agree. I agree with this to an extent. I still think Dotson's got a potential in this offense. I just don't know what the heck. I'm going to get into this in a second with him. But if you have more to add on, go right ahead.
I guess my final thoughts are, at the end of the day, with AJ Brown's comment, that is directed at the coaches. Now, are the coaches actually going to take any a deeper look into those comments? Probably not, because guess what? They're still winning football games. Yeah, AJ might have been unhappy. He had, let's see, 4 catches, 43 yards. He might have been unhappy by that. But guess what? Those 43 yards helped win the game. Their style of offense helped them win the game. They secured the win. I get people's frustrations, and I will say that I do think it's a real possibility. If you get into one of these games that's a shootout, let's say even just this week coming up against the Steelers, let's say this might be the battle of the defenses. It might be a low scoring game.
Which, hold on, let me just explain something. Russell Wilson isn't necessarily lighting up the freaking air yards either, but out here Steeler fans complaining.
Nope, because guess what? They're enjoying one of the best seasons that they've seen in years. But Eagles fans can't be appreciative of an 11-2 record. It's amazing. It's insane. So back to my final thought is they're going to look that comment on the passing was to the coaches. Yes, AJ Brown would like the ball to be thrown more. He'd like to have more catches and more yards. But at the end of the day, he's got to understand everyone's got a role to play in that offense. And if the offense is working and you're winning games, newsflash, they're not going to change up much. The only concern could be if, they stick to the game that they've been playing. Now, I believe that they won't have any issues if they play against somebody and they need to get those yards down the field and march down the field. I don't think they'll have any issues because they have so much talent out on the offensive side of the ball. But I get some people's concerns with, okay, maybe they'll be rusty when the time comes and they need to get those plays. They can't afford any mess ups. I don't think it's going to happen. This team has too much chemistry with each other. They've been playing with each other for years now. They know what they need to do, and if it comes down to it, they're going to go get it done. Sammy Cakes.
First of all, and I want to rebut to this, there are people. There are people. I'm not saying this is what Anthony's talking about, but there was a comment. People are mad when Devontae Smith caught his touchdown. They were like, oh, well, A.J. Brown was wide open. We're mad on a play that worked and scored?
Yeah.
Which also, if you watch that play back, if A.J. catches that football, he's in the concussion protocol the next day.
Yeah, AJ Brown had a slim window of being open. I know the play you're talking about because I saw the same thing. He was open for about maybe 2 seconds, if that. It was such a tight window, and also that linebacker was kind of lurking underneath. That ball could have been tipped or picked off, possibly as well. And
We're
like
not
you
the
said,
Panthers. We ain't getting lucky.
and like you said, if that happens and the ball goes through, AJ has a chance to catch it. He's getting lit up, and
Yeah.
who knows?
And then we're down A.J. Brown
And
again.
then we're down AJ Brown.
Again.
Credit to Hurts for seeing that, that's a congested area. Not going to force the ball in there. Not going to risk the health of my quarterback, because I've seen plenty of quarterbacks in the past. Oh, they don't give two shits. That ball's out, getting it in there, take the hit. They don't care about it. But I don't see what the issue is, and that goes back to the problem with a lot of Philadelphia fans. Is, oh, I'm upset that we got a touchdown because AJ Brown was open. Seriously? What happens if he throws that? AJ gets hit so hard, ball comes out, incomplete, and AJ Brown gets hurt. Then Hurts is the villain for putting his wide receiver in a dangerous position. Give me a break. And Anthony, to your comment, there was times when AJ Brown was open. There's times when so many players are open on the field. It's not Madden where you have a screen in front of you and you can see the whole field like that. All right? You have to go through your reads, each section of the field, and scan it. The times that AJ might have been open, maybe that wasn't his first read. Maybe that's not where the ball is supposed to go to. There's something called decoy routes, to where you have a guy running a route to create space for other players. Not every play is designed for AJ Brown to get the football. Oh my gosh. There we go, Anthony. Tell us how you really feel.
I mean,
We
Jalen
all
Hurts.
knew this was it.
I mean, if you really want to be fair, Jalen Hurts has the same amount of rushing touchdowns as Saquon Barkley has total touchdowns. They each have 13. Saquon's got 2 passing, 11 rushing. Jalen has 13 rushing on top of the 16 passing touchdowns. All right, so I guess I have to talk now, right?
The floor is yours.
Okay. Well, let me just come out and say this, okay? And the reason I can do this is because I want to say this does not include the following people. Now, clearly not Anthony, Clint, Adrian. They're not Eagles fans. Carol, this is not including her. Carol is one of my favorite 609 supporters. This does not include her. This does not include Orlando, Matt, Brian. Doesn't include Alyssa. This doesn't include any of them. They are not involved in this. But when it comes to Philadelphia Eagle fans, I really fucking hate y'all. Like, I actually really can't stand you guys. You are the reason why we get scrutinized on national TV and get laughed at every year. I can't stand you guys. First, you bitched and complained about this guy throwing the football too much and turning the football over. Example number 1 right here. Now that they've simplified the offense and the turnovers have stopped, the passing numbers are down, but the ball's not getting turned over anymore. Now that's the freaking problem. I can't do this anymore. First off, let me say something about Jalen Hurts. We know what he is. He does have his problems. There's 2 problems that Jalen Hurts still has. Okay? He does not. I still have issues with the pocket awareness because he does one of 2 things. He either backs up and stays there, or he just takes off and runs. When he stinks, there's the slimmest bit of pressure when there's not. I would like to see Jalen step up, take one big stride into a throw, just once. He doesn't do it. He needs to work on that. The other thing he has struggled with lately is hesitant and throwing the ball is not getting the ball out fast enough. If Jalen Hurts would just fix that key instinct right there, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But that's the problem now. He doesn't know which one you want him to be. Because if he tries to throw the ball too early, turns it over, you're going to hate him. But if he hangs onto the ball, we keep the drive alive and we score, but he's not passing for a lot of yards, you're still going to hate him. Jalen Hurts has his issues still. But who, at this point in time, gives a shit. The team has won 9 games in a row. And I'm going to reiterate this. People are like, oh, when's the passing offense going to wake up? When the rushing attack stops. It ain't stopping.
So, Sam, I want to ask you a question.
Go right ahead.
Do you know which week it was, which was the last week that Jalen Hurts threw 30 times, 30 attempts, over 30 attempts? Tampa. Do you know how many other games he did that?
Let me go.
I'll save you a second. Every single game to start the season up to Tampa Bay. Every single game before the bye week. Yep. He threw the ball over 30 times. What was our record? 2-2?
2-2.
In the 2 losses that we had. Against the Falcons, only 183 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I don't know if he lost any fumbles in that game. I forget.
The Falcons game? No, he didn't.
No? Okay. And then we all saw the gritty performance against that unbeatable New Orleans team. All right? He slung the ball.
It was the best offense on turf.
76% completion percentage that game. Also threw an interception as well. Tampa Bay, we got killed. We were down just about literally everybody.
So it was wide receiver 1.
Threw the ball 30 times, 18 completions, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, 158 yards passing. Wasn't a pretty game.
Not at all.
Then you come out of the bye week. Cleveland, yes, we get it. People weren't happy. It's the same reasoning. People weren't happy about the Cleveland win that they're not happy about the Panthers win. They look at the record and get hung up in the record, and that's all they care about. We're supposed to blow this team out. No, we're supposed to beat this team. It's an NFL football team. We're supposed to beat them.
Which took the Chiefs to the final second.
Exactly.
And they're the world almighty, right?
Yeah. So after the bye week, like you said, they reevaluated things. They cut out a lot of those deep balls. They decided, let's go run, let's get short passes, work our way towards the chains we know we can convert short situations. They move the ball down the field on you. Yes, their first quarter offense is atrocious, but there seems to be a method to the madness. It seems like they're playing chess every week. They're feeling out.
Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
They're feeling out in the first quarter. They come out in the second quarter with some adjustments. They put up some points on the board, and then second half is when they just end it.
And okay, you know what? Let's evaluate this more. You're talking about that Cleveland game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's evaluate that more. Let's look at Jalen Hurts then, because ever since the bye week, the most passes Jalen Hurts threw was 28, and that was against Washington.
Yep.
But let's look at the Cleveland game. 16-25, 264, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Mm-hmm. The next week, 10-14 against the Giants, only 114 yards. Didn't really need to do much about that against the Giants. Against the Bengals, 16-20, 236, 1 touchdown. Jacksonville, 18-24 for 230, 2 touchdowns. Dallas, 14-20 for 202, 2 touchdowns. He threw a pick in that game. Washington, 18-28, 221. The Rams, 15-22, 179, 1 touchdown. Baltimore, 11-19 for 118, 1 touchdown, no picks. You were going up against a pretty damn good defense in Baltimore. And Carolina, 14-21 for 108. Yes. Should Jalen Hurts be able to throw for more than 108 yards in a game? Yes. Should the passing offense be able to be a little more consistent? Yes. Talk to me when Saquon Barkley has a bad game. Because every game since the bye week, it's freaking happened. Saquon Barkley had – hold on, no. Now I'm mad. Now I'm on your side. Now I'm mad. Because here's the thing. I want to welcome Jalen Hurts. I want to welcome Jalen Hurts to the Carson Wentz fan club because you have now joined him, and it does no. Listen, hold on. You have now joined him in the conversation of it does not matter what you do. They will not like you. It does not matter. For the rest of his time here, Jalen Hurts will never do anything right by these fans. But guess what? When you're sitting here at 11-2 on the cusp of at least the number 2 seed in the NFC, and you are about to win the NFC East, why are you angry? Did we forget yesterday that Saquon Barkley, again, averaged 6 yards a carry?
I think it was 6.5, actually.
Oh, it was 6.5. Are we excusing that Saquon Barkley just became the all-time leading rusher in a season for the Philadelphia Eagles? Shout out Shady McCoy. It doesn't matter. Well, even Carroll agrees with me. It will not matter from this point forward. But guess what? Look, in 2 years from now, if they want to go, look, what happens if they want to go? What if the Eagles aren't confident in them? Do they want to go switch it up? Whatever. But for right now, he is winning you football games. Since Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts took over this team as the quarterback head coach combination, 9-8 and we're in the playoffs when you had no business being there. 14-3 got to the Super Bowl. 11-6 last year. Yes, we get the freaking meltdown at the end of the season. We get that. And now this year they're 11-2 on the cusp of an NFC East championship. It'll be their second NFC East championship in 3 years. It should be their third in a row.
Yeah.
Now look, if we go into playoffs and the run game ain't working, the pass game has to step up. Yes. But you know what? I'll just say this. Do you understand that there are more that goes into this than Jalen Hurts, right? Now look, we can agree, because every quarterback, right? Every quarterback has their flaws.
Oh, yeah.
My two with Jalen are just two things. I wish he would step up in the pocket more. Not running. Don't take off the second you think there's pressure coming. Take one big stride and hit someone in the stride for their route. That's what I want to see more of.
You know where I think his hesitation comes with that? Is I think he might have gotten in his own head a little bit for the times when he would try to do that, and he would get his arm batted and fumble the ball. So I feel like that's probably playing some sort of mental role to where he's not fully confident doing that, because he doesn't know when he goes to wind up, is his arm going to get whacked that he's going to fumble it or not, or if it's just going to be
my pass. And my only other gripe sometimes with Jalen is he does hang on to the ball a little too long. That's it.
Bruiser, he makes a good point, but the Eagles defense, obviously,
far from my problem.
Since losing Brandon Graham, that's going to continue to hurt us. Example, Josh Sweat.
Oh my God.
But aside from him not having Reed Blankenship out there,
it hurt.
Not going to say any names, but for the people who hate on Reed Blankenship, he is our starting safety, and he's at the upper tier when it comes to safeties in the NFL. Not saying he's the best, but he's up there in the upper level.
And also, give the Panthers credit with Bryce Young. They got the football out of his hand quick. They committed to still use Chuba Hubbard and run the football. They did a good job. Give them credit.
They did.
Which, by the way, the one screen pass they attempted with Chuba Hubbard, how the hell? Jalen Carter, I don't know if you're going to agree with this. Jalen Carter moves like a linebacker. Almost.
That was quick coming out of college. He was a quick defensive tackle.
Anthony, congratulations. The Chuba Hubbard's a pretty good running back.
Anthony, I'm going to rebut you with this. Chuba Hubbard averaged 3.5 yards per carry. I don't consider that struggling. He carried the ball 26 times and he couldn't crack 100 yards.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't call that struggling. Struggling is averaging 6 yards or higher a carry, which was Saquon having 20 carries for 124 yards. But trust me, if you're holding a running back, especially a good one in Chuba Hubbard, to 3.5, I'm not worried about that.
And the only thing that I would say that the defense legitimately struggled with yesterday was getting off the field. That was it.
Yeah. There's so many third downs, like 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, and there he is, Adam Thielen, at age 30, whatever.
And again, but when you don't have Reed Blankenship, it makes you have to switch up a lot of your game plan in that defensive backfield. Look, if that was a bad performance from the Eagles defense, I'll take that all day and twice on Sunday.
Allowing 16 points, yeah.
Because, we're forgetting that what this defense just did to the Ravens 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. One of the best scoring offenses aside from the Lions. We want to forget what they did.
Speaking of scoring offenses, what about the Rams yesterday? What did the Eagles do to them 3 weeks ago?
They stopped them.
They knocked them out. They shut them down their own. And they said, this is not coming to Philly. They're going on the road and doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about Vic Fangio's defense. Vic Fangio's defense had to get healthier. Now, look, they're not getting Brandon Graham back, but the edge rushers are terrible.
I want to real quick run back to when the Chiefs played the Panthers. Now, the Chiefs, we have our very broad opinions on them.
Yeah.
But the one thing we could agree on is their defense is pretty damn good this year.
Oh,
something that is usually not that great. They're really good this year. They allowed 27 to the Panthers. Bryce Young was 21 for 35, 263, and a touchdown. And Chuba Hubbard was averaging 3.6 yards on the ground. So, I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah. And the defense, here's the thing. We're talking about the defense. The defense allowed 16 points. The offense should have scored 30.
They should have. Yeah. There were points left on the board from, the missed field goal. And then after the missed field goal, them choosing to, take the delay game and punt the ball away when, they were technically in field goal range. But you already missed one 50-yarder. Doesn't make the most sense to do it again. Yeah, Bruiser, that's one of the unfortunate things. But, I thought what would have, calmed the Eagles fans down and also silenced a lot of the haters was their performance against the Ravens.
That should have been it right there.
Wait, I'm not supposed to enjoy the Ravens win?
Bruiser. They held Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, one of the most prolific offenses in the NFL, to 12 points. Don't tell me miss me with Isaiah Likely and his touchdown that meant zilch to that game. I'm just glad Isaiah Likely remembered how to get in the end zone again after week 1. Yeah. I'm not supposed to. So wait. I'm not supposed to feel good about that. I'm not supposed to feel good about what they did to the Rams offense. A fully healthy Rams offense that strung out 44 on Buffalo yesterday.
Yep, Buffalo.
And I am still. Where did the defense not step up yesterday? Oh, they didn't get the stop to win the game. Oh, they did that. Oh, they didn't force any turnovers. Oh, they did that. Oh, they held a lesser team to under 20. Oh, they did that. The offense is what kept Carolina in that game, not the Eagles' defense. The only thing the Eagles' defense struggled with yesterday was a little bit of third down conversions. But once again, your secondary is banged up. Sometimes you have to change things up when you're missing players.
Yep.
Anthony, it must be something in the script because all these kickers are broken. Jake Elliott's broke. Justin Tucker's broke. Everyone's broke. Look, Bruiser, what we were saying is that we would think, because, leading up to the last few weeks, the Eagles have been touted as a team that hasn't played many good teams. Well, the Rams and Ravens are pretty good teams. And when we finally defeat teams like that, we would think the fan base, even with a little bit of a issue with the Panthers, would still feel good. But no, we're back into the meltdown. It's the worst team in the league. Jalen Hurts can't play a lick of quarterback in the NFL. That's where we're trying to get here. The Ravens was the hardest game left on their schedule. They have one more game that's legitimately their hardest game, and that's the Steelers. If they beat the Steelers on Sunday, I want everyone that roots for the Philadelphia Eagles, except the people I named earlier, but for all the people that have bitched and complained for the past 24 hours about an 11-2 football team, shut the hell up.
Yeah. So my response
to this now I'm annoyed.
Is we don't want to hang the entire season on it. We're not trying to. I'm gonna go by the 9 games in a row that they've won and the teams that they have beaten. They destroyed their division opponents. 2 of them they held to no touchdowns, being the Giants and the Cowboys. And they handled Washington, which when they beat Washington, everyone was on the Washington hype train. They were one of the teams.
Daniels was an MVP candidate.
Yeah, but after we beat them, it was just Washington again. That's it. They weren't a legit team anymore, apparently. So then we go in, we handle business with the Rams. We're like, okay, we're cruising into this game against the Ravens. It's one of the biggest games of the season on our schedule. We go in and get the job done there too. And people still have complaints, and they're still not happy. And then you come in, Eagles fans, this is what they wanted. They wanted a 40-plus point score. They wanted a complete blowout. You're not going to have that every game. And you're especially not going to have that when you're dominating running the football. At a time to throw the football. I mean, I thought this was just basics, but most Eagles fans just can't be happy with a good thing. Maybe we do need to go back to these losing seasons where, it's just a joke. 3rd or 4th in our division. Maybe we just need to go back to that.
So I want to win my 3 points every game and sweat these out because I don't want to win my double figures no more because it's never good enough. Except during this win streak, Giants 28-3, Bengals 37-17, Cowboys 34-6, Rams 37-20.
We also don't want to talk about that. Not only did the Eagles defense shut down the Ravens, they shut down another high-scoring offense in the Bengals. Now, I get it; the Bengals don't look that great on paper right now, but you look at their offense. Their offense isn't the problem. Joe Burrow's not the problem. Joe Burrow's probably having one of the top QB seasons right now. If Joe Burrow's team was able to win more games with the help of the defense, he'd probably be in the MVP conversation.
I'm just going off what Matt just said. I warned everybody last week about that Panthers game. It's the typical game. This was the Arizona Cardinals game from last year. You know what the difference was between this game and the Arizona Cardinals game this year? You won the freaking game.
And I thought that this game was going to be close as well because I had a feeling that the team, the players, and maybe even the coaches were going to be thinking a little too much about next week with the Steelers. And they were going to kind of write the Carolina Panthers off. Not fully, but they were just like, okay, they're getting beat up by teams.
Not only that, they had a high after they beat the Ravens. They were still feeling that high.
Yeah.
They were because it was a wash. The Ravens were blowing the Eagles out that week. No chance. Who's laughing now?
Mm-hmm.
We are the only team that could be 11-2 and have the fan base pissed off.
Yeah.
Chiefs fans, what's it like to be a smart fan base? What's it like? Because we ain't got many over here. We got a bunch of freaking bunch of Philly dillies.
You don't want me to pull up Mahomes' stats.
Well, no.
Because since everyone loves to talk about Mahomes, you don't want me to pull up his stats.
Can we talk about some players from our defense yesterday that really stepped up big time?
Oh, yeah.
C.J. Gardner-Johnson. You don't win that game without C.J. Because if he doesn't pick off Bryce Young, you're going into the half trailing. And he switched the entire. So for people saying the defense struggled, the defense changed the entire trajectory of the game.
They did.
Zach Bond once again, just proves that he's a monster. He had another, 10 tackles and a sack?
Mm-hmm.
And also, because I know we love to, first of all, I want to apologize for anybody who's ever hated on Reed Blankenship. Because I will warn, I'm going to tell the people now, Tristan McCullum stinks. Oh my God.
I don't know where everyone was hyping him up at.
I'll tell you right now, the fourth down play, the ball that was batted up in the air, that went to field, that right there is telling me, oh my God, we're losing this game. Yeah. Because when crap like that happens, we don't come back from it.
Oh, you don't?
But I want to give a big shout out to someone who I've been on his case for about 3 years now. I want to give a lot of credit to Darius Slay, who just came back from his concussion. And after, in the fourth quarter, he was not playing well up until the fourth quarter. But when he was called for that cheap, and I mean cheap, defensive holding call, when literally all Leggett did was run directly into him. Do you remember that play?
Mm-hmm.
The second Darius Slay got called for that holding, it was all over. Because if I'm not mistaken, he had the fourth down stop on that same drive. He had 2 more forced incompletions leading down the field. And, of course, he had the game-winning incompletion on Adam Thielen.
Yep.
So I want to give a big shout-out, because he made play after play after that holding call.
He did. I want to respond to this little back and forth with Brian and Bruiser. And Bruiser was saying how it wasn't a trap game. It was an underperforming team. Let's say this. What happened with the Chiefs? Chiefs let them drop 27 on them. They kept them around the whole game, only beaten by 3 points.
Yeah. Now,
this week was kind of a reality check week.
First of all,
a win is a win. And they got it done with what they had. They were down Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert's third leading receiver on the team. Don't tell me that's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
It is a big deal. That definitely goes into the game planning for the week. You're definitely going to be a little limited in the passing game. Now, I know that's crazy to say when you have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith to say that you're limited in the passing game, but when teams are focusing on those two, who's open? Dallas Goedert's open. But no, I think this team's fine. Everything's going well. There's no need to panic. I don't know why people are trying to panic in the midst of a 9-game win streak. This team has an identity this season. They know what they need to do on both sides of the ball and special teams, and they're getting it done. There's nothing to panic about. Now we're going to go in this Sunday, have a hard-fought game against fellow Pennsylvania team, and let the better team win.
Honestly, Anthony, we're up there right now because we're a bunch of freaking idiots. But we have something coming out here. So Brandon Graham was on WIP again today.
Mm-hmm.
So Brandon Graham on WIP said today, I know 1 is trying and 11 could be better with how he responds to things. They were friends, but things have changed.
Wait, say that start again?
This is referring to Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. Because he calls them by their jersey numbers.
Mm-hmm. And this is Brandon Graham, right?
Yes, I'm looking at the video right now. This is Brandon Graham saying, I know 1 is trying and 11 could be better with how he responds to things. They were friends, but things have changed. Okay, now we have a problem.
Oh, what in the world has changed?
Yeah, what's changed? Come on, BJ. What's changed? BG, stay off 94.1. They're messing your brain up, dude.
What in the world? What does BG know that we don't know?
Yo, I'm glad Clint brought this up. I want to give a big shout out to Grant Calcaterra. His first career NFL touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
I guess that was a bad play by Jalen Hurts, too, surveying the field and looking for his option to get open, right? That was bad, too.
Yeah. I guess A.J. Brown was open somewhere also, right?
Yeah, he was double covered the entire play. And I'm sorry, because, now we keep talking about Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown, right? I'm sorry. Where's Kellen Moore in all this? What's Kellen Moore get zero criticism?
No clue. I never understand when people gun straight for the players and they don't sit back and think these players are only doing what they're told.
I was literally, remember the Cleveland game? The Devontae Smith touchdown where he just runs across the field and there's nobody near him and he just walks right down the field 45 yards to the end zone? I haven't seen a route run up like that in about 5 weeks.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm sorry. BG, you're turning into the you got some time on your hands. Relax.
What he needs to do is he needs to sit down Josh Sweat and teach him how to finish a sack.
Honestly. I will say Jalen Suggs had a pretty good game yesterday, too.
He did.
He didn't get a sack or anything, but Jalen Suggs was living in that backfield.
Yeah, Jalen found himself. He moves with some really good speed for his size.
He pulled through 2 offensive linemen yesterday.
Yeah.
The other reason also I want to say something about the passing offense, another thing I've realized, as great as this offensive line is, they're a lot better at run blocking than they are in pass protection.
Yeah, I can see it.
There's still some. Now, could some of that be Jalen holding onto the football too long? Yes, it could. Matt, they best friends. Stock it.
Yeah.
The fact that he's on WIP saying this is all I need to know.
It would take something very, very severe on one of their ends to ruin a relationship like that. Like they were more than best friends. They were like brothers.
Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't care about what you think you are to this organization. If I'm Jeffrey Lurie and I see that video of Brandon Graham, I'm going to say, yeah, this is your last year. I don't care who you are. You're not going on a radio station pouring out team and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I don't like that. You expect more from BG too. Like he's literally our Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee.
Yeah, you're coming out putting stuff on the freaking radio like that.
I don't know. I don't buy it too much.
I'll tell you right now.
This might be planted more than Jahmyr Gibbs with the plays on the board in his picture.
I'll tell you right now, Eagles Twitter is ripping Brandon Graham to shreds.
Oh gosh.
This ain't the time to be doing this. BG, I'm sorry you got hurt. I feel bad for you, brother, but like this, if I were the Eagles, I'd tell them, yeah, you can play more, but I'm sorry, but this is your last year because you're not doing this next.
What? I don't buy it. I feel like he was coerced to say this. I feel like someone told him, like Matt said, to go stir the pot. Maybe try and throw some people off.
Now, Clint said it earlier. AJ on Sunday's going off for $120 and 2 tutties, right?
Oh yeah. Watch that. He'll easily get over 100.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's a bad look for Brandon Graham. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't really care about what's happened since you got hurt, but stay off of 94.1 for me for a minute.
I want to know the full conversation. How did that even get brought up?
Because it's WIP. That's all they do. Eagles could win 6 straight Super Bowls, but if A.J. Brown looked at someone wrong, oh my God, what a terrible idea that would be. I hate this city. I absolutely hate this city. Philadelphia makes me sick. Philadelphia actually makes me sick.
That sums it up.
Like, I don't understand what's going on here. I really don't know what is going on here. Anthony, I'm not that far from Philly either.
Yeah, literally.
It's a half-hour car ride.
25 with low traffic.
And exactly.
WIP is a joke.
I'm serious. If I were the Eagles, I would go right to Brandon Graham and say, yeah, you're not going to. Yeah, if you want to play again, it won't be here. I'm not bringing you back if you're going to start that crap.
I'm still not buying into it. Doesn't bother me.
I ain't bothered by it. Because, like I said, on Sunday, AJ's going off for 2 tutties, and everyone's going to shut their mouths.
Yeah. He's going to torch Joey Porter Jr. too while he's at it.
Now, I saw that. Jamar Chase, Joey Porter got flagged 7 times. Will not get flagged 1 time on Sunday.
Nope. He'll be getting held and hugged all around the field. Nothing.
I got something. But yeah, I'm not buying this crap. Knock this crap off. There is somebody in that building that wants Nick Sirianni to fail. 11-2, and they're starting this crap. Somebody wants something in that building to fail. I know why Fletcher Cox is always my favorite. He's quiet and to himself.
Yeah, BG always was the loud one.
Yeah. Are you supposed to be teaching the young edge rushers while you're off injured?
Nah, he's got a show to host on WIP.
Knock it off. Knock it off. Like, this whole thing is ridiculous. Man, I don't care if we did it on purpose or not. The issue won't be going away anytime soon. And here's another great tweet. A.J. Brown hasn't said a word all season until yesterday when it was completely justified. He's been an amazing sport all season and has appeared to be in great spirits, although the team is run heavy and his targets are down. To publicly call him out like this is late. Yeah, like, A.J. hasn't said a word all season. Why do we just want to drive out great players? Oh, I'm about to... Hold on. Tyler, can you just give some thoughts on something? Why I just give me your thoughts on some stuff on this crap.
Honestly, I don't really have many thoughts on it. I mean, I'm on board with Matt. I really don't. I don't buy into it too much. I don't really think that there is any issue, any problem.
Clint, there's nothing personal between A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. I'm not sure why Jack Del Rio with the comment, but Mike, what's up? How you doing? Thanks for commenting. First of all, what cracks me up, right, is that this media will do whatever they can to get A.J. Brown off this football team. Because clearly somebody wants him off the team. Mm-hmm. But we still continue to defend that fat, out of shape, 7'2" idiot that plays for the Sixers. No accountability whatsoever for him, but he's okay. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, he's all right.
Guy hasn't sniffed an NBA Finals, but it's okay. Because he's funny on the court with his dancing and all that stuff. It's okay. All right.
I bet the city would love Greenland if he wasn't, so calm and relaxed all the time. Maybe they want to see him, screaming and yelling and, showing a bunch of excitement.
Also, by the way, what Bruiser does say here is, please do go check out our friends at Dueling Aces at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a very good show. Bruiser, our friend George, all of those guys over there are just great. Clint said that freaking this whole thing is ridiculous. This whole thing is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know and this just came out, Tyler, about a half hour. This came out just now.
Because when I looked into it too, he has his own show on WIP on every Monday at 6 p.m. It's called the Brandon Graham Show.
Man, I don't care. We're missing the point here.
Wait, who is he talking about?
He's defending Embiid being in shape.
Oh,
that's not the point. The point is that we are trying to drive out a wide receiver who has been nothing but great for this city, but yet we defend a guy who hasn't done crap for it.
Yeah. No, I don't get it.
I do not understand why we defend this. I don't understand why we're doing this. 9 wins in a row. A.J. Brown, who, oh, by the way, kind of likes being here since he just signed another extension the night of the draft. Why, oh, why are we doing this again?
So that Eagles fans have something to overreact about.
Man, I'll believe he's in shape when he plays 4 straight games.
No rest days.
And Brandon Graham go kick rocks too at this point. I'm not condoning this. This is ridiculous that we're doing this right now. I'm not doing this right now with him. I can't believe that just 20 minutes ago, this is what we've come to. Anthony said he's mad because he can't get his bonuses. But either way, look, they're 11-2. Stop everything else. Stop with the negativity. They're 11-2, and the fact that you're still not happy is a joke. I can't do this anymore.
I'm happy.
I'm happy. See, this is the problem I have with some of these old core 4 guys of ours. They don't really know. Mike said, bad publicity is good publicity. Not in this city, it isn't, Mike. Not in this city,
you know what? Maybe we didn't consider something. Maybe BG's trying to get the in with WIP after his career's done.
Yeah, give me a break with those guys. Carol's happy. Let's go, Carol. I'm getting real sick and tired of these guys trying to keep their relevancy in this city. You notice how Fletcher Cox retired and you haven't heard a word from him?
Nope. He's enjoying his retirement.
You know the last thing I heard from Fletcher Cox, the first time since he retired? Yesterday. Mike says Eagles versus Bills in the Super Bowl. You will have to ban fans from tailgating.
Oh, gosh.
That would be some of the craziest. The tailgates would be the main event.
Yeah. Yeah. The game would be the undercard.
Yeah, I'm getting sick and tired of this core 4. No, Clint, I just said it. If I was Jeffrey Lurie, I would tell Brandon Graham, if you planned on trying to play next year, you better go find someone that'll let you, because I'm not letting you play for here after letting that out now. I don't care. I don't care that you are out for the season. You are still a part of this football team, and you just went to the one place that has tried to pin your own players against each other and gave them a selling point. You just sold your team out for publicity. That's exactly what he just did. I'm over it. I'm over this crap. Somebody in that building does not want someone to succeed. Somebody in that building, and they need to find out who it is.
Yep.
Man, Bruiser, I ain't fearing nothing about SMU. Mike says snowstorm central. That's actually pretty true. Philly, Buffalo.
Yep.
We need an outdoor snow Super Bowl one day. That'd be great.
I doubt they'll do it.
Yeah, don't want to do that. I could dream, though, can't I? Can you imagine a Super Bowl in Buffalo?
Oh, God. All right, if they want a snow Super Bowl, they got to pick a different stadium than Buffalo.
No, shovel it. Give me free tickets. Plus 20 an hour? Do that. Let's do it. Nah, player safety's too important for that stuff. It's just such a lame idea I had, okay? Let a man dream. And Mike said Eagles would 38, Bills 31. Well, they beat the Bills last year.
They did.
I believe that was the same. I believe that was the score, too.
A game-winning drive from Jalen Hurts as well.
Yeah, don't give Jalen too much credit now. But anyway, let's move on to. Let's recap the NFL. Let's get through that real quick. Then we'll move on to some college football.
I thought.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, right. I've been talking and bitch about the Eagles for like 40 minutes now. Of course, Eagles-Panthers. We already went through that. Vikings completely destroyed the Falcons yesterday.
They did. Darnold with a career day. And, I made the tough decision.
I'm with Clint. We'll shovel snow.
I think everybody would. But guess what? If everyone's shoveling for free tickets, they're not going to make any money.
Well, they can take the $20 an hour they're paying us to shovel.
Don't pay me. Just give me the tickets. Those would be the cheapest Super Bowl tickets ever.
I don't care. Snow games are the best. Go ask Shady McCoy. It's his best game of his career.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay, Mike. Now I think we're getting a little crazy here. Hurricane games? I think we're losing our minds now.
Or are you talking about the Miami Hurricanes?
Am I the only one that thinks that college football should do an NIT?
I think it'd be great.
Be
more money for them, more exposure for the players.
This talks, man. No. This talks.
I don't see why not.
But back to our NFL recap. Vikings-Falcons. I think it's time for Michael Penix.
Yeah, it was good early on with Kirk Cousins.
No, they've lost 4 straight.
I don't see it working out for them anymore.
Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins in his last 4 games has no passing touchdowns.
They went from having a chance of winning their division
to now crap.
Being a game behind the Buccaneers. With the Saints with the Saints kind of on their tail. Saints are only a game behind them.
I can't believe it.
So honestly, might be time to throw him in now. See what he can do. Kirk Cousins is going to be your next Las Vegas Raiders quarterback.
Clint said I started Darnold in a couple of leagues yesterday. I can't stand Sam. Oh my God. Yeah, I wish that was the Sam Darnold that I got a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
been time for Michael.
I did start Darnold yesterday over Baker Mayfield and Jordan Love. I was like, you know what? Baker might have a good game, but Darnold, ever since that bad week that we both started him, Sam, he's had like 20-point performances every week since then. So I was like, all right, let's ride the hot hand, see what happens.
And he's without a doubt comeback player of the year.
He deserves it, 100%.
I mean, dude, how hard is he at 2 what?
This is the easy recipe for comeback player of the year. A former failed New York Jet, most likely quarterback, but any position, former Jet at this point. And then you go to a new team and just go off. That's how you do it.
So
So
are you telling
Aaron Rodgers next year,
Are
he's
you
the next comeback player of the year. Just keep that bookmarked.
like we were talking about this earlier? Panthers played some really, really solid football against the Eagles yesterday. They held
Give the
their own.
Panthers until next season. Let them get some more players in the draft and hopefully, get a few free agents in there. I think the
Dude,
Panthers, they're putting it together.
I am so freaking mad that Jonathan Brooks retore his ACL.
That sucks.
Because I literally just said the other day, I said it was Thanksgiving. I did a short. I said that's how they're going to get as good for Bryce Young. Build a run game like the Lions with two good backs, and they already have them.
They do. Rodgers to the Jags. That's totally a Jags move. Totally.
Mike, you're killing me with some of these comments.
All right. So, yep. Kirk to the Raiders. Rodgers to the Jags. Who else? Where's Justin Fields gonna go? Because he feels he ain't getting the start over Wilson.
Well, Wilson's only on a 1-year deal.
True. How many years left does Fields have?
That's a good question.
I don't know that either.
All right. Saints defeat Giants 14-11.
What an intriguing game.
Well, Anthony, I'd love to know the two guys ahead of him. I would love to know the guys ahead of him. Because if it's anyone else, it's outlandish.
I'm trying to think. Who else could it be?
Don't tell me it's Aaron freaking Rodgers.
Nah.
Don't tell me it's Aaron freaking Rodgers.
Rodgers isn't having a bad year, but he's having a decent year, but not like crazy.
You know, Anthony, I don't know how you get out from Kirk this year or next year. You may have to wait.
Oh man, Clint. There's another option. If he he's already he's got to get off the Broncos though, because he's not better than Bo Nix. But if Zach Wilson can find his way in a role of fight for a starting quarterback, Joe Burrow or Kyler Murray,
they were both hurt last year.
They were. That does make it tough.
I mean, I'm sorry. Are we not going to base team success over any of this?
I would.
The Bengals can't win a game. The Cardinals have lost 3 straight and have lost first place. The Vikings are literally the only reason the Vikings are in first place because they're playing with the Packers and the Lions.
Yeah, literally.
But anyway, moving down our list here, Saints beat Giants 14-11. Giants get a 35-yard field goal blocked to lose the game. Mike has a very lovely comment about Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my gosh.
That is typical Giants fashion. The tank is real.
The tank. I don't have anything else to say. The real question. Cam Ward. Shadur Sanders. The Giants would draft Shadur. They would.
Yeah. And hey, Shadur, you think Colorado's offensive line is bad? You haven't seen anything yet, buddy. You think that's bad?
Well, here, let me break it down, right? Colorado's offensive line is equivalent to high school. Giants' offensive line is equivalent to college.
Oh God, that's
but not the SEC. So he'll get to experience what a college offensive line is like. But he'll just be in the NFL, so he's screwed.
You're talking SEC. Did you watch Texas?
Unfortunately. But let's be honest. Who does Georgia not do that to?
I tried to warn you.
Georgia's pass rushers are just always so good.
But Anthony, thank you. I think we can all be in agreement on that.
Sanders is overrated.
Sanders. He lost to the draft, both of them.
And then he'll go there and help coach.
Jags beat Titans 10-6. Do we have to talk about this game?
Does this game even happen?
I'm not even. No, we just simulated it on Madden.
10-6? Are you kidding? Not a single passing touchdown?
Hey. The only touchdown of that game was from Tank Bigsby, who I took a chance on.
Did you really?
I had Jonathan Taylor on a bye week, and he saved me, so watch your mouth.
Hey, man.
Tank Bigsby saved my season.
I like Tank Bigsby, all right? Maybe once the Jags can actually, become a real NFL football team again, and he's still on the roster, he might, pull off, 100-yard performances in multiple games a year.
All right, so moving on to the games that actually matter. The Buccaneers defeated the Raiders 28-13. You watch out for the Bucs, man. They're getting hot.
They are. They're getting healthy.
Clinton, just like Tennessee Titan fashion, they wasted away.
Yep.
But yeah, Baker Mayfield, man. I know, he's not going to. Baker Mayfield should get some MVP consideration for what he's been doing with Tampa.
Yeah.
Chris Godwin for most of the season. Mike Evans has been banged up. Their defense is inconsistent at best. Baker Mayfield that's the best stretch he's played of football in his career.
The only issue is he's still a little too erratic with the football.
Yes. Agreed.
He'll have some good stretches, but then he'll have some stretches where it's just bad.
Oh, I agree. But still, but that's been Baker's whole career.
Yeah.
But for what he's done these past couple of years in Tampa, it's pretty remarkable.
Yep.
And they're sitting atop the NFC South again. All right. Next up, Steelers continue their winning ways, beating the Browns 27-14. Steelers defense put up 2 interceptions and 3 sacks yesterday. Cam Hayward had 2 of them. Alex Highsmith had the other. It's been the Steelers defense is still just the Steelers defense. It's just that damn good.
It is.
Now the Browns are the Browns, but the Steelers defense is just that damn good.
Oh, yeah.
Clint said Winston's prayers was answered. God saved from the pick 6 still through 2.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Jameis Winston is definitely Jameis Winston still.
I need Jameis Winston to never change.
I need him to be a WWE manager after this and get a mic in that man's hands.
I would love that.
Jameis Winston needs to be the new tribal chief one day.
Okay.
Oh, that'd be great. Come on.
Too far.
Next up, Dolphins outlast the Jets 32-26 in overtime. What am I going to say?
I thought the Jets were going to win that.
I'll tell you right now, you will never see more of a weird fantasy football player than Devon Achane. This man will have 40 yards the whole game, but he'll score 2 touchdowns. You'll have 20 points from him. Easily the weirdest fantasy running back I've ever had.
He averaged 1.7 yards per carry, and he still had a rushing touchdown.
Yep, and he had 6 catches for 45 yards. Got to give some credit here. Since coming back, he's playing some solid football.
He has been.
I mean, just look at the last 4 games. 288 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. 317 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. 365 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. 331 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. He's playing some good football.
He is. He finally reawoke in Tyreek Hill from his slumber.
Finally.
Jalen Waddle, 1 yard shy of 100.
Mike, I see your comment. Jesus God. But yeah, got to give a lot of credit where credit's due. Tua's playing good football. Yeah. And for all the idiots that want Mike McDaniel fired, I think it's kind of hard to win when you have Snoop Hudley as your quarterback.
Snoop Hudley?
I hate fans that want guys fired when their quarterbacks are hurt. What do you want?
Not just your starting quarterback, but even your backup quarterback gets hurt. Well, what are you supposed to do at that point?
And it's Skylar Thompson. And that's not much to begin with. Clint, that's like saying you want a 40. It's like you own a 49ers running back.
You mean all of the 49ers running backs?
You might as well just rent that whole damn room.
Oh, I have almost the whole damn room. I'm running out of room.
You're running out of room? Sir, are you running out of the room with the running backs?
Yep.
All right. Tyler, I'm gonna let you take this game over to talk about first. Seahawks defeat Cardinals 30-18.
Oh.
Seahawks are 8-5.
Seahawks sitting at 8-5. They're starting to finally put the stronghold on their division. They got the Rams one game behind them, but man,
Yep.
just got to talk about my man Geno Smith again. He's still the passing yards leader in the NFL, and they actually had backup running back Zach Charbonnet step in and run for 134 yards and 2 touchdowns. Talk about the next man up right there. Very impressive performance. A great win against a pretty tough Cardinals team. Kyler Murray threw 2 interceptions. They got Jackson Smith and Jibba. He was the leading receiver. DK Metcalf, who? And then Tyler Lockett. I just don't think Tyler Lockett exists anymore.
Don't be surprised if DK gets dealt next year. Wouldn't be surprised.
Ooh, yeah, he's not having a good year. But the thing is like, if you trade him, you're kind of screwed. Because, like, Smith and Jibba's really good, but, like, you need someone next to him still. Or else they're going to take a step back in the wrong direction.
Yeah. But if you look at this team, what the Seahawks have done now, this is a team that was kind of in a transition, right? And Mike McDonald comes over from Baltimore. Geno's. Yeah, Burnsy, he had a struggle in the second half, but
well, hold up. How much did he struggle in the second half when he only missed 6 throws?
Oh, you did that in Philly, you'd be benched.
I'm trying to figure that. Like, was it really his fault? Or did the team struggle in the second half? So I'm just looking at this. I'm trying to figure out how that's a Geno Smith problem. I'm sure he didn't miss all those 6 throws in the second half. Because if he didn't throw an incompletion until the second half, that's pretty damn impressive too.
The only thing I want to say about the Seahawks is that Mike McDonald has done a hell of a job in his first year as their coach. And they've brought back that defensive identity.
Yep.
And I do like the fact that they're starting to get their younger players involved. They've got so many young playmakers. Charbonnet is not a backup running back in this league, by the way.
How do you think he's got starter potential?
He was a second-round draft pick out of UCLA.
In 2021.
It doesn't matter. Okay, he's behind Kenneth Walker.
That's true. But didn't Kenneth Walker get drafted after him?
No, Kenneth Walker was there already.
No, Kenneth Walker got drafted in 2022. Charbonnet has been. Wait, hold up. Why did
Charbonnet was drafted in 2023.
He was drafted in 2023. Hold up. Let me go back. What the hell just told me 2021?
You have been misled.
What in the... Yeah, okay. All right, thanks.
And Clint said that Walker is crap anyway. Whoa.
Oh.
And
bold statement.
Smith and Jigba has been another young playmaker. I mean, Joyce Scott.
Yeah.
So he's on the cusp. He's on the cusp of 1,000 yards. If the Seahawks continue to get younger at those skills positions, they're in good shape. Their defense is playing really good. They got some good players in that secondary. Reek Woolen. They've got Leonard Williams on the D-line. They have Devin Witherspoon, Julian Love. They keep getting better. The Seahawks could be getting back up to where we're used to the Seahawks being.
Yeah, true.
Now, next up, Rams and Bills. If you had any of these teams' defenses in fantasy, I am sorry.
Nope, I got the Eagles. I'm chilling.
Josh Allen, 22 of 37 for 342, 3 passing touchdowns, 10 carries, 82 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. Matthew Stafford, 23 of 30, 320 and 2 touchdowns. Kyron Williams had 2 touchdowns. What a game.
That was a hell of a game.
Oh, Clint, I agree. I think JSN is easily the number 1 wide receiver on that team now.
Yeah. They just got to get a solid number 2 behind him. They'll be fine.
But yeah, Rams.
Funnily enough, Josh Allen was the leading rusher for the Bills. He was running for his life, and he was keeping him in the game.
Clint, that's all?
Oh,
that's all?
Man.
That's all? Rough. Oh, yeah. Josh Allen, 2 fantasy points yesterday.
Whew.
My God.
Yeah, I mean, I think 3 rushing touchdowns and 3 passing touchdowns, that'll do it for you. Oh, and then 82 yards on the ground, yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah.
The rest, the Bills of the Chiefs treatment, they still lost.
Yeah. Clint had Puka Nacua, so he was good. He didn't lose out.
Oh, that counteracts everything then.
Yep.
That was the Rams fully healthy, man. They're dangerous.
They are. Unless they play the Eagles, then they get shut down.
Oh, I was in Georgia's league that Clint had him too. Woo!
Oh, man.
Next up, do we got to talk about Niners Bears? Do I have to waste my time with this?
Unfortunately, yes.
I mean, Caleb was 17 to 23, 2 touchdowns. He was sacked 7 freaking times yesterday.
That's horrendous. They desperately need offensive line help.
See you, Carol. Go Birds as always. 9 straight victory Mondays.
9 straight. No complaint.
I'm having some camera issues right now.
Oh, no. It's a gravitational pull.
That up. But, yeah, the Bears need a lot of offensive line help. The Niners, who racked up these sacks? Leonard Floyd had 2. Yetur Gross-Matos had 3. Shout out my Penn State Nittany Lion. Malik Collins had 1. My God.
Wow. That just goes to show you how bad that offensive line is.
You see what Clint's comment is, right?
4 total yards in the first half. That's almost as bad as the Eagles against the Buccaneers.
It's almost as bad as the Eagles in the first quarter of every game.
Wow.
Bruiser said yes, if only to annoy George G with how bad the 49ers are. Nah, Bruiser, I usually just annoy him with their latest injury report because someone's new is always on it week by week.
Oh, there is somebody new on it.
Yeah.
Isaac Grendo. Now, next man up. NFL seasoned veteran Patrick Taylor Jr., whoever that is.
Don't pick him up, Tyler.
I have to.
No, you don't. Don't pick him up.
I have no other running backs. My only other running back on the bench, Sam, Gus Edwards, is my only other running back option on the bench.
Hey, he scored yesterday.
He did score yesterday. But he didn't give me a whole lot.
Don't do it to yourself. Please don't. I'm trying to save you.
No, what you're trying to do is you're trying to save the 49ers running backs who are cursed by me.
So stop going to it. Patrick Taylor's going to have a hangnail or something. He'll be out 6 weeks.
I still got 26.8 points out of Glenda before he got hurt.
Yeah,
so
now he's hurt.
I'll take my chance. I'll take my chances on Patrick Taylor Jr.
Birds, he said basically the season's over, and we all know that. I'm assuming he's referring to the Bears.
Yeah.
Birdsey, that season's been over for about 6 weeks. For about 6 weeks now.
Honestly, 49ers season's still over too. I don't know where they think they're going to do anything. it would be very tough for them to clinch a wild card.
Fair enough. And to wrap up our NFL Weekly recap, the Chiefs, once again, get a luck out when beating the Chargers 19-17 to clinch the AFC West title.
Can you say doink?
On cue, look who it is. Seriously, I'm just getting in the door and y'all are messing with me. George, you just come in at the most opportune moments. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'm sorry, George, but you just do it. Only for you, George. Only for you. I just realized that my lamp wasn't on full brightness. Or am I going back to the ghost lamp?
Oh, God.
No, George knows the ghost lamp. Anthony, the team was constructed poorly to begin with in Chicago. The offensive line has sucked for 16 years.
Yep.
It's just, there ain't not much you can do with it. They need to get to the offseason and evaluate some things. Nah, George, I think the Niners are more done like Alabama's season. I think he's replying to something that Burnsy said earlier. It sure wasn't all Matt Eberflus. He definitely took the fall, though, for the Bears. They got smacked. No, Burnsy, Matt Eberflus was a big problem.
Yeah. Eberflus, he had countless opportunities to try and turn that team around. He wasn't.
If you don't get this comment, go check out George and I's one of one show we did yesterday. All right, Tyler. Are you ready for some college football?
I don't know if I'm ready for some college football.
Why aren't you? We got to talk it. Conference championship weekend. Well, the one thing you can say, it was entertaining.
Wait, Sam, did you miss a game?
You know?
The Chiefs and the Chargers? Did we talk
about it
that?
up.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to talk about it. That's why.
Oh, yeah. You mentioned the doink. That's it.
Yeah,
I thought the Chargers played very well.
Yeah, they've had some rough, close game losses to two good teams now, the Ravens and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But we know the Chargers. They're good. They're just not there yet. They have a lot of. They're still pieces away from.
Yeah, they're showing potential, and they were down on Lad McConkey too.
And they had no J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
Who once again is hurt.
Yep. He had a good run.
George said the Bears keep rotating between GMs who don't pick their quarterback. Then 2 years later, the quarterback is picked, but the GM and coach get whacked like the cycle repeat. It does. The cycle keeps repeating itself.
That's a vicious cycle right there.
Burnsy, the Chiefs have been lucky almost every game. Not just yesterday. Almost every game.
Yeah.
But all right, Tyler, are you ready to talk some college football?
Oh, yeah.
Where would you like to start out? Are we just going to talk about the ones that really were the important ones?
Weren't they all important?
Okay, you want to talk about Army and Tulane? Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, that one, now I'm good.
I mean, do you want to talk about your boy Ashton Genty?
Oh,
beating UNLV?
Another monstrous performance. I'm just so excited because I just can't wait until they match up against, let's see, Penn State's got to beat SMU. And Sam, I'm sorry, Penn State can beat Boise State, but I need to see Jonty go for 200 on y'all. Just to finally shut everyone up. If he pulls off a 200, he ran for 200 against Oregon, and that would be 200 against Penn State. I think people at that point would just be like, okay, yeah, maybe he actually is a really good running back.
He's not getting the Heisman.
Freaking dual wide receiver cornerback.
Here's the thing, right?
Super hyped up media publicity, all this and that. Great wide receiver.
It's the Ball family of college football. It's LeVar Ball all over again. Let me explain to you something, right? I get the Heisman if you are transcendent talent at a certain position. He ain't transcendent it either.
No.
He's very good at both, but Ashton Genty is amazing.
Clint. It's like the road to glory player. Oh man. Well, hey, he is on the road to glory. I mean, again, his performance from from Friday against UNLV ran for 209, 32 carries, a rushing touchdown, and he averaged 6.5 on the ground.
Yeah, Bruiser, you're asking a little too much from the committee there. He's happy enough that the committee actually gave them and Navy a ranking together at one point this season.
That is true. That is true.
Look, Bruiser, we got Bama out of here for a year. Let's be happy with that. But while we're on that topic, let's talk about that SEC championship game. Georgia defeating Texas 22-19 in overtime, which was basically just Quinn Ewers and Carson Beck trying to play a game of who could play worse at this point.
Yeah.
Because that was an ugly performance from both of them. Now, I'm going to give my thoughts on this game first. I predicted this from last week's show. We talked about this. I warned everybody. Georgia dominated Texas's offensive line the first meeting, and guess what? Saturday, they did it again.
Yep.
Texas's offensive line is not good. And real quick, Anthony said that Carson Beck is a bust. No disagreement there. Yeah. I do got to give some credit to Gunnar Stockton. That boy came in and played some decent ball.
He did.
That's a tough spot to be put into. And he came out and played pretty solid. Burns, he said, glad to talk about Georgia. Love the Bulldogs. Bruiser said, well, because Bruiser is a Texas fan, he said, let's talk about the terrible officiating. The officiating was questionable. Very much. It was that first half was official central. But again, you're playing a team, you're playing Georgia in Atlanta. Of course that's how it went. They weren't going to let Texas win that game. They were trying their best they could and then not let it. That's a good point as well, but yeah. But my biggest takeaway was Quinn Ewers didn't play well. 2 turnovers, even though the first interception wasn't his fault.
Yeah, it wasn't. I think a big thing for Texas moving forward, they got to get that guy at wide receiver again. They got to get that big flashy name, because I mean, the guy Golden, he's good, but I don't know how far it's gonna, it's really taken him. He's not really like transcendent.
Yeah. My biggest takeaway from this game was just that they literally, exactly what Anthony said. Georgia are grown men playing JV football. They are. They dominate. Texas, the Longhorns' offensive line did not play well at all. They could not get anything going on the ground, really. Quinn Ewers was scrambling for his life, but
yep.
Yeah, exactly, Bruce. They were missing their starting left guard, and they did, but still, it was just, you could tell the offensive line wasn't going to be able to hold up in that game. It was just, Georgia's front's just too damn lethal. Because I'll tell you now, they didn't win that game because of Carson Beck either. Carson Beck, man, I don't know. I feel bad for the kid because he's hurt, but that kid don't know what, he's without Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers now. He don't know what to do.
Yep.
I mean, look at that last drive, right? In the first half. First play, penalty, so it's a free play, throws an interception. Second play, offsides, free play, throws the interception. And then somehow you get strip sacked on a Hail Mary. I don't know what to tell
you. Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. Well, yeah, credit to Georgia, and I'm not going to talk too much about the playoff tonight because I'm sure we're going to have the playoff preview in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Wait, when do they start?
Should start pretty soon because it's got to wrap up around.
Well, Army Navy is Saturday, so.
All right, I got it. Oh, why is it playing some video? Shut up! I don't want to hear you.
All right, so the first playoff game is
Friday
the
20th. Yep, Indiana versus
Yep.
Notre Dame.
All right, so next week we'll have the preview.
Yep.
Next week's show. And Bruiser said, dude, that's the Texas offense every game. Ewers has happy feet and holds onto the ball too long. He's been gun shy since he got hurt. Yeah.
Yeah. I still feel like they're not going to do it either, but Arch Manning is the future. They need to get him out there.
You will not stop until Arch Manning is starting next year.
I won't.
Well, he's going to be because Ewers is gone, right? Isn't Ewers leaving?
Should be. I think Ewers is the senior, is he not?
I'll tell you right now, if I'm NFL scouts, if your name isn't Cam Ward, or I guess you could say Shedeur Sanders, yeah, I'm not.
So
there ain't going in.
Quinn Ewers is actually a junior, so he could come back and play another season if they commit to him being a starting quarterback. I think it's time to give Arch the reins, though.
Someone is trying to put in Drew Aller's head that he should declare, and it will be the biggest mistake of his life if he does.
No.
Somebody is trying to put in his head. No, Ewers is a senior.
What? All right. Tell me ESPN is just this bad. Why did they have him listed as a junior?
No, Anthony, I did not see the Heisman list. What is it? Yeah, well, George Tyler just pointed to that earlier, that Texas's wide receivers need help. I mean, 6 straight drops in back-to-back possessions doesn't help either. So as much as like Bruiser was saying about Quinn Ewers struggling, his supporting cast wasn't very helpful.
No, Ewers is a junior. It's even listed on Texas's website. Well,
Are we still trying to get this?
Regardless, he's somehow still a junior. I don't know. Even though he played a year.
Clint said he
somehow still a senior.
And Clint said that he was a transfer from OSU, and also Clint said he's going to leave because he's going to go to top 5 or 10. Where?
Who's going to go top 5 or 10? Please don't tell me Quinn Ewers.
He ain't Bo Nix now. Come on.
He is. There's no team drafting him, honestly, in the first round. I could see maybe second round. The first round, I don't see him currently as a first rounder.
If I'm not getting Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders in this draft, I ain't going near anybody. I ain't touching nobody. And whoever's trying to talk Drew Aller into going into the NFL this early, kick rocks.
That would be a huge mistake. Huge.
It'll be the death of any chance he has as an NFL player. He needs another year.
He does, because even this year, he didn't really have that breakout he's the one kind of year. He had a really good year, but a lot of guys have really good years. He needs that 1 year where he just puts NCAA on notice.
Yeah. And Burns, you said real quick, I think Coach Prime was right. 50% of the kids you recruit will hit the portal. If they don't play when they want to play, may as well use the portal to get kids that have the experience. Burnsy, and college football is going to be more entertaining for years to come because of this.
Yeah.
So there's the top 4 finalists that Anthony said that the list is. It's Gabriel, Hunter, Genty, and Ward. I think Gabriel will easily.
Gabriel has a better case than Ward.
Gabriel has a better case than all of them.
Yeah, it's so tough because Travis Hunter.
He's the quarterback on the number 1 team in the country.
Exactly. And Travis Hunter, his team's not even in the mix right now.
Travis Hunter's team only got in the top 25 because they bitched and moaned about it for 3 weeks.
They did. Oh, we beat Utah A&M. Why aren't we in the...
Yeah, right. Clint said someone's going to reach. George said, don't worry, the Jets will draft him. I hope you're talking about Quinn Ewers and not Drew Aller.
Oh, my gosh.
Clint said
I
this
feel
year's
bad for both of them. Yeah, this year's class is kind of weak. I mean, I'm assuming Dylan Gabriel's hopefully going to declare for the draft.
Most likely.
Cam Ward should declare for the draft.
Cam Ward's going top 5.
I mean, those two, yeah, they should. Both of them should be top 10 easy. Whatever teams need quarterbacks in top 10, they should easily go off the board. I don't really know who else there is. So I guess you can make the case with how weak that the QB class is this year. Maybe Ewers should go out this year and declare. Since it's a weaker class, he doesn't have as much competition.
Yeah. And Bruiser just bringing up that he'll go top 15 because some desperate coach will think they can mold him into the next Tom Brady. That's the thing. Quinn Ewers could go to the right situation and be okay. Like Bo Nix.
Okay.
Bo Nix was the worst quarterback draft pick last year, labeled by everybody. But now that Sean Payton got his hands on him, look what he's doing. If Quinn Ewers gets picked by the right coach and the right team, maybe he's got a shot.
He will be Brock Purdy. I think they have very similar play styles. They're not going to pop the top off of you. They manage the game. They have good intermediate short passing. He would be the next Brock Purdy. He'll be drafted higher than Brock Purdy.
But Carson Beck's lucky if he goes in the first 3 rounds.
Oh. Yeah, he's right though. When the season first started, everyone was high on Carson Beck. And then
he was, but
saw a full season of Carson Beck, and it was
No, you saw a full season of Carson Beck without Brock Bowers and Ladd McConkey.
Yeah.
But let's close out the show with that Big Ten championship game. Oregon outlasts Penn State 45-37. Tyler, what are your thoughts?
It was a very rough game to watch. Penn State tried. They tried their hardest. They did a good job running the football on them. But they could not stop the pass to save their lives.
Nope.
And even when I tried to say, they got to the second half, all right, where's that second half Penn State defense? Let's see it. Still nothing. They had no answer. They couldn't stop the short passes, the yards after catch. Just couldn't do it.
Oh my God. The yards after catch, they couldn't tackle either to save their lives. And they're such a sound tackling team.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest takeaways from this, James Franklin made mistakes early on. When Oregon goes down, that first possession scores, I get it. You're trying to just get points on the board. But you got to go for it on 3rd and 4 inside the Oregon 20 there. You're moving right down the field on their defense. You got to go for it. You can't. The problem is what Penn State did early on in this game. After Nick Singleton got that big run off of 41 yards, he didn't touch the ball the rest of the drive. You cannot get into a passing game shootout with the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah.
And Anthony, you ain't lying. Oregon's got speed and a lot of it. And I warned everybody about this. This was the night that Penn State's lack of wide receivers would finally kill them. And it did. The only capable wide receiver they have is Harrison Wallace. And even he is not a number 1 wide receiver. He's a number 2, maybe 3 at best. Tyler Warren did his thing. He had a big drop in this game, but he still had a really good night. They ran the football effectively. I will say Drew Aller, he balled his brains out on Saturday. He played a hell of a game. Yes, he threw 2 interceptions. He made mistakes. But for the people that said Penn State was getting blown out in this game, they went toe-to-toe with Oregon, and they fought them to the very end. So for all those people that said Penn State was a fraud number 3 ranking a couple weeks ago, and not so much.
Yeah. They lost by one possession.
Yeah.
No, they did do a good job. They hung in there. They stayed true to their guns. They ran the football on them. Both of your boys at running back, both over
They
100
waited
yards.
but that's the problem. They waited too long.
Yeah, they tried to match the air yards early on in the game. And that's when they fell behind. That's when it really hurt them.
Yeah.
If they would have stayed true to their game early and stuck with it, probably could have been a different outcome, or maybe at least a little bit closer. Maybe like a 3-point lost by a field goal. But
like,
yeah,
listen to this. K'Dron Allen, 14 carries, 124 yards. That's 9 yards a carry. Nick Singleton, 10 for 105. That's 10.5 yards a carry. Drew Aller was 5 for 54. That's 11 yards a carry. And I told you all year, this is Penn State's game. If they run the football, they're going to be fine. That's how you could have beat Oregon. You know how you beat Oregon? You keep Gabriel and all that speed on the sidelines.
Yep.
But they couldn't do it. And same thing. Now, look, we've already know that Penn State has had place kicker issues this year. First drive of the second half, they're moving down the field. They missed it's 3rd and 3. They kick a 40-yard field goal. Don't get me wrong. Ryan Barker's been good since taking over, since that USC game. I'm not trusting him from 40 yards. And he shanked it. I will say, James Franklin, the Ohio State game was more of the he can't coach big games. Franklin didn't coach as bad in this game as he did against Ohio State, but he just waited too long to do what they do best. They should have ran the football earlier, and they may have been able to sneak this one out if they did. But now the goal is to look to SMU. The playoff is a week from Friday. That's what the goal is from now on. Congratulations to Oregon. I knew they were going to win it. Penn State, they're good. They're not Oregon good. All I know is Penn State, I don't care how many millions of NIL you got to do. You better get some damn wide receivers in this damn room, because this wide receiver room is terrible.
Yep.
And Clint said that how Oregon gets so explosive, you try to match them and they get they take you out of your game. Like the first drive, I'm like, Penn State came to get these guys the second down. Like, they're just so damn explosive. But yeah, there's really nothing else to say. Penn State played their asses off. They did as much as they could. They couldn't stop Oregon's explosiveness. That's just how it is. But they went toe-to-toe with them. They never gave up. They did what they could. You got to give credit to where credit's due for Oregon. They were great. And that's why they're the number 1 team in the country. And now we wait for the playoff, which we'll be previewing that next week.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a week from Friday, we said, right?
Yep, it is.
So that'll be a fun show next week. We'll be preparing for a preview of that. Yeah. And so Clint said they did that versus Ohio State. We abandoned the run early to match them. Yeah, you can't do that.
Yep. The second you try and match them, it's over.
Bruiser, you're spot on. Penn State better be prepared for that, because that's what Oregon did. They got the ball out fast and they killed them with it. But the biggest thing that Penn State has to do against SMU, they have to tackle. Because I will tell you now, I get Oregon's fast. Penn State has been one of the most sound tackling teams all year, and they were awful on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
They were absolutely awful. So they need to be prepared for that SMU that spread offense. But speaking of SMU, how about that ACC championship game? What a freaking ending that was.
That was very interesting. SMU climbed back.
And they tied it. And then 16 seconds left.
Yep.
They do. They do, Clint. And I'm hoping Penn State's more prepared for it. I hope Oregon gave them a test. I hope Oregon prepared them for what could happen with SMU. I hope it gave them a little bit of an insight. Okay, we got to be prepared for this, because it literally It could be an Oregon all over again. I don't even care that the game is in Happy Valley. Home field matters, but you got to play better defensively. You have to be better defensively.
Yep, I agree.
You just got to tackle better. Like they just were. None of them tackled well. The only person that played decent in any regard was Abdul Carter. Abdul Carter, now granted, Abdul Carter was getting held the entire game. But it is what it is. Oregon did their thing, and it is what it is. Now we prepare for the playoff. That's going to be fun. But like we said, it is what it is. Anything else to add, Tyler, before we call it a night?
Nope, I'm just ready to see how this expanded playoffs plays out. More
I think this is going to
better college football.
I think this is going to be one of the great. This is going to be fun. This playoff is about to be fun. But that's for next week. As for this week, it's time to wrap up. So, guys, thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. I want to thank everybody that was commenting tonight with us. Mike, Carol, Alyssa was here for a bit, Bruiser, Clint, Bernsey, Georgie, all of you, Matt. I can't remember everybody. I think I got everybody right.
And even Brian.
Yep, Brian was here, the first comment. Alex was here for a quick second. Thank you all for joining us tonight. I hope everyone enjoyed tonight's episode. Of course, guys, don't forget, this Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Hitting Home's debut episode covering the Major League Baseball winter meetings. Me and my good friend from the Dueling Aces, Mr. George G. And, of course, he's right here before we say goodbye, saying, hey, how about that Simpson game coming up on Monday Night Football? Yeah, we ain't talking about that, Georgie. I don't care about Monday Night Football. I'm watching MLB tonight the rest of my night. But yeah, guys, Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern, George and I will be recapping the MLB winter meetings. We're talking Juan Soto, all the other transactions around baseball, the new stupid rule that Major League Baseball is trying to make up. We'll have it all covered on Thursday. So please, guys, if you can, if you're working, if you're not, try to come tune in with us. It's going to be a great show, and we hope you guys can all make it. As for tonight, thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. We hope you all have a safe rest of your Monday. Have a safe rest of your week. And we will see you guys next time. For Tyler Adams, I'm Sam Nelson. Good night, everybody.